Rihards Kols.
Yes, thank you, Chair, and labas dienas, Commissioner. It's an absolute reality that we are living in an era of rearmament. It's really not by choice, but really by necessity. And also, it is very evident that any credible defense starts with a simple question: can we move troops and equipment fast enough to where they are needed most? Today, the answer is very clear. It's still no. The EU's entire military mobility budget, 1.7 billion, is already spent, while Germany alone estimates it needs €500 billion for defense infrastructure. How will the Commission ensure stable and sufficient funding for military mobility? Because without it, without serious funding, the strategy means nothing. Secondly, military mobility is useless if the external border is unprepared. How will you ensure that Europe's border regions, especially those facing the aggressor state, get the funding to fully fortify their infrastructure? These regions are the first line of defense for all of Europe. Now to the broader strategic picture. President von der Leyen's ReArm Europe plan is a major shift in how we think about the defense spending, loans, fiscal flexibility using the EU budget for defense. All of this reshapes the entire framework. At the same time, you are preparing the upcoming European Defence White Book. Can you confirm whether your White Book has been coordinated with von der Leyen's proposals and whether it fully reflects its new approach? A White Book that ignores this reality would be obsolete before it's even published.
Well, Laba Diena, first of all, and thanks a lot for a good question. Well, I would say, I said, before even, that White Paper and what is, decided now are absolutely, matching each other. For us, the problem is that some ideas which we were drafting for White Paper now are, coming into public, earlier than we are publishing, White Paper, because really things are moving so fast, and Council, extraordinary Council meetings and meetings in London, in Paris, and so on. They are pushing things into execution much more rapidly, but the decisions which are coming out, as I said, ReArm EU or today's Council, conclusions very much about joint procurement also and things like that. Those decisions are coming out from very broad discussions which we had, and we are still continuing to have while we are, preparing White Paper. We have perhaps, I don't know, we shall calculate, but more than 20, inputs from different member states, written inputs into our White Paper, and, a lot of inputs from industry associations. We have a lot of, discussions with them. And I see that really convergence of all those, way of thinking into the same picture, where really all of us, we are looking into the needs which we need to implement, very quickly. The needs are calculated on the basis of NATO, capability targets and NATO plans, and that is where really, everybody, we are, as I said, on the same page, and the question now is how to speed up all the implementations. And for example, attractiveness of this new instrument of loans, 150. At least what we are trying to do now with the coming regulations is that those loans will be possible to use with much more fast track of procurement. You will see, I will not go into the details, but we're looking really how, what I was calling, in different meetings, I was calling that we need to have approach of big bang. We cannot allow ourselves to go with the same, incremental steps forward. We need to go, with big money, quick decisions, big industry ramp up, and so on and so on. So that's one thing. Second, the last point. Definitely, defense financing is, how to say, people are looking, well, that the European Union will bring some kind of, miracle bag of money and all the problems will be resolved. Defense spending, nevertheless, is also national spending. And we are trying to create possibilities for national defense spending to be used in the most effective way, including in military mobility. Other things also will come, you know, and we shall discuss and decide.